Maybe later. Oh my goodness. You too. Oh boy. That's for later. I know. Ugh. Ugh. Oh no. No. Oh no. Every freaking Monstera. Spilling. And save the biggest one for last. Every single Monstera in my life wants a bigger house. So it is spring repotting time. This is why I feel comfortable repotting on my white rugs and carpet. And thanks to Dreamy for sponsoring this video today. So this is the Dreamy L40 Ultra Robot Vacuum. I've actually stopped using my upright stick vacuum entirely. Can't remember the last time I even had to use it. It auto detects stains on my floor and it vacuums and mops simultaneously. It also auto empties its own dustbin into the dust bag here. The water tank inside of here heats up so you can actually mop with hot water, and it also self-cleans its own mop pads and the washboard down here. And I know it seems like soil spills would be the most common thing it cleans up. Like I did drop a pot here and there's soil and leca everywhere, but it actually cleans up after my 6-year-old, 3-year-old, and 475-month-old the most. The floor under a dining table is always littered after every meal, and so I usually run the robot vacuum at night, and then we come downstairs to freshly mopped vacuum floors every single morning. It's been such a game changer. So if you're interested, check out the link in my description for an exclusive discount on the Dreamy Robot. Okay, let me start now.
So, we need to get the kids.
Okay, let's get my soil out. Woo! I brought it outside and I'm wearing a mask because this is freaking disgusting. My entire soil bin molded. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Wow. Oof. What a waste. I can still smell it. Ooh. Let that disinfect in the sun for a little bit. Gross. Oh. I do have a larger mother soil bin in my garage. Ooh. This is not going to be enough. Well, it'll be enough for these. It won't be enough for the big one. You know, since I'm already wet from the hose, I might as well just do this one. This Tycon is in a hydroponic setup. I put it in here when it was like a wee little baby. I thought it was gonna rot, but it actually clearly has grown really well in here. But the water is very gross, so it needs a good scrub. Okay, very healthy roots. I don't have a place to put it. I'll just lay you down. Stay. Look at these roots though. And look what it was growing in. Dump this green algae water out. Ew, it's so slick in here. Good enough. Let's fill her up. Kind of a lot. I'm not gonna do anything with these roots, but I am just gonna rinse them. Some of these are rotted. When you grow things hydroponically, you do need to add nutrients to the water because there are none in water. I don't know how many gallons this is. 1, 2, let's see. I'm just gonna guess. Maybe like 2 gallons. Then we put it back. Oh, this is too much water. Actually, no, it's perfect. Yay! I accidentally let the water evaporate all the way down to the bottom, which is why this one was struggling a little bit. Oh my gosh, so heavy. Dang it. Oh! Oh! Okay, did it. Put it this grow light. Hi. Oh, and the cool thing about this hydroponic setup is that it comes with an air stone. So the air stone will circulate oxygen all throughout the water, which is really good for the plant and the root health, so it's not just stagnant. Chop off this oldest yellowing dying leaf. Now, if multiple leaves were yellowing and this plant was struggling, then I would consider upsizing, but it's only the oldest leaf, so I know that it's doing okay here. Oh, I'm exhausted already, and that's only like 1 of 100 Monsteras. Did you bring me a flower? Okay, it's literally 4 days later, but I have made excellent mental progress on what I'm gonna do with these plants. I just spent the last 45 minutes figuring out what pots they are going to upsize to because it's so hard finding nice outer cache pots. So my biggest one, I'm going to go up. I know it looks like a big jump, but in diameter, it's actually only about 2 inches bigger than the previous pot size, and it is so root bound, so it'll be okay. This guy will go into this pot, and this guy will go into this one. So this is the ultimate vision of how they'll look once they are in their new homes. But you know, honestly, these aren't the emergency, these are fine. It's that huge one that's basically dying every minute. So I feel like I need to do that one first, even though I don't want to. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Its tentacles are everywhere. Oh, it is freaking hot outside. Oh, you're gonna be so happy in your new house. So it's gonna go from that little pot to this big one. I'm so glad I found a place where I can get big pots like this. And I got a huge insert. That one I just got at like Home Depot. And this comes in a set of 3 of like graduated sizes. And it's really light too, but it's sturdy. So yay! All right, let's lay a mat down and get it out of its pot and see what it looks like. Ooh, oh, it's so stuck. What do I do? I need a shovel. Okay, this is way more root bound than I ever thought. Picked the hottest day of the year to do this. Oh, I almost got it. Oh my gosh, it's so dry. I'm so sorry. There's like an entire root system in here. That's a problem for later. Right now, I am going to tend to this. Oh gosh, I feel so bad. This was so neglected. Really needed a bigger pot a long time ago. So you can actually trim these aerial roots too. It doesn't hurt the plant. Or you can direct them back into the soil and they'll turn into soil roots. I'm gonna trim some of them. Yeah. Oh, the root crack. I'm gonna be extra generous with this crack because I want these roots to take in as much nutrients as possible. This is mycorrhizae inoculant. It helps with transplant shock and it really develops this symbiotic relationship between bacteria and roots that allows the roots to take in some nutrients. But it's time to make some more soil. Let's go by the hose here. Oh, so the base for my soil mix is coconuts. This is a giant cocoa core brick. Ugh. All you do is add water to this and it'll make a crap ton of soil. Well, technically it's not soil, but it makes a great base for plants because it is fluffy and moisture retentive. In my research, I learned that you actually need to buffer coconut core because it has a high level of sodium, which could cause nutrient lockout. But luckily, the kind that I got already came pre-buffered. So it's already been washed, treated with calcium and magnesium. This is good to go. I don't need to do anything extra to prep it. There's a lizard, get away, get away, get away. Oh, somewhere else, not into my pot. Oh my gosh, what if this went into my Monstera? I would die. I don't know, somewhere outside. Okay, this requires 6 gallons of water, so I'm just going to roughly measure that with this. Warm water will make this break down faster, but I'm not gonna go get warm water from my kitchen for 6 gallons. 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not gonna leave it at 5 and just see how it is. While that soil out there is marinating and it looks like there's gonna be like 100 pounds of soil, I'm gonna try to quickly repot these. Now, while making your own soil is convenient, you don't need a huge batch like that. You can get pre-mixed soil mixes. Look at this root that's just escaping it. Oh, wow. How is this even alive? There's no soil here. Like I can't even loosen these roots. I'm just gonna trim the bottom of these. Now, if your root system is established, root trimming is perfectly fine. It's not gonna hurt the plant. And clearly this has enough roots. So the pot I am gonna put it into is technically a self-watering pot. It has this little reservoir. I'm not gonna use it as self-watering, but I will use it to bottom water the plant because there's this little convenient spout where you can just pour in the water. Root crack. Oh, I spilled a lot on it. Whoops. It will not go to waste. There you go. But this is a nice chunky pre-made mix. So the thing about Monsteras is that they naturally climb in nature. And so you can see here, this definitely wants to climb, but I honestly don't want to deal with making a moss pole because that's a whole nother project. So I think I'm just gonna put like a wooden trellis as a support for it. And this one's so cute, it's like cactus shaped. And it's coated on the bottom so that it doesn't rot in the soil. I probably should have done this before I added the soil, but it's okay. And as this grows, it'll lean against that trellis for support. Put that aside for watering. Isn't it insane how expensive Thai constellations used to be? Like I used to buy like baby ones for well over $100, and now these are like 20 bucks. Here's number 2. Ooh, also root bound. Not as bad as the last one. Learned from the last repot, I'm gonna install the trellis first. This one's a little bit of a different style. Pop that in there and then backfill. Number 2. I think this is the most repots I've ever done in a day. The variegation on this one is so pretty, but the leaves are browning. I'm gonna trim these off because it's preventing me from getting it out of the pot. See how like this aerial root grew back into the soil and just turned into a regular soil root. Gosh, is this too snug still? I think this size might be more suited for it. And I found a trellis that's a Monstera leaf, so it's very fitting. All right, there's number 3. Let me water these. Last thing I want is gnats flying around. Last one, but I need to change the scenery, so I'm gonna check on the one outside. Okay, this is so much soil. This can repot like 100 plants. But look how fluffy it is. I am gonna add in perlite in small batches, but always wear a mask because you don't want to be breathing that perlite dust in. I'm gonna transfer some of it into here, and then I'll mix the perlite in here because there's just no space in this container. Perlite adds drainage and aeration to the mix. And I don't have specific measurements, I just eyeball it. So when it looks speckled like that, it's good to go for me. This is so sad looking. People have asked me why I don't just plant this in the dirt outside. But if you look behind me, everything is turf. There is no place for me to plant this. Although if I planted this outside, it would probably fruit. And I've always wanted to try Monstera fruit. I'm gonna water it in the shade here. I don't want to mix 20 gallons of fertilizer water, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a top dress fertilizer for this one. These are convenient because I only need to apply this once a month. Nice little shower. I am gonna trim these crispy edges and some of these dead leaves. There may have been a few crispy edges that I trimmed. But look, it looks so much better already. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, so the good thing about making your own mix is that you can make it as moisture retentive or as chunky and well draining as you want. So since the rest of these Monsteras are in a really chunky mix, I'm gonna do the same. Add in some orchid bark and some calcined clay. This is often used in bonsai mixes too, but it's a great additive. So yeah, this looks good. I'm so excited, I'm gonna be done. I got this as one leaf baby on my birthday several years ago, and I was so scared of it. Paid a lot of money, because back then these were expensive. This is an albo, by the way. This is not a Thai constellation, but it was worth it because the quality was so good, and I'm so happy with it. It's grown so well, but it definitely needed a bigger house. All right, let's trim these babies off. Oh my gosh, it's really in there. A while back, this lady who claimed to know more than me about my houseplants, which is fine. I never claimed to be an expert. This is me just trial and error playing with my plants. But she did it in like a really condescending way. She said that she speaks from a place of knowledge because her brother has a degree in horticultural studies. She kept saying that I was like butchering all my plants. I was just propagating a pothos. I was just snipping the vines to grow more. The thing is, houseplants are a lot more resilient than you think. And you never know unless you get your hands dirty and test it out. Everything for me is trial and error. I never claim to know more than anybody. And I learned so much in my comment section from people about different ways to do things and how it works in their environment. So I'm like half on the mat and half on the rug. Like there are ways to communicate or give advice without coming off rude. Like I welcome all constructive criticism. So if I am doing something horribly wrong, please let me know so I can fix it and get better. But if we're claiming other people's degrees as our own, then let me know if you're a doctor so I can tell everyone I know I'm a doctor too. All right, time to water this.
Love this mother.
Ta-da! Here is everything repotted, and it feels so good that I finally did this because I've been procrastinating this project for a year. Like literally I was supposed to do this last spring. And I'm really proud of myself because I grew all of these from 1 to 2 leaf cuttings. So these were babies and they look so beautiful now. And I'm most proud of this huge mama plant because she already looks so much better in this nice big pot. She's gonna be so much happier and her roots can spread out. In my experience, Monsteras like to be pretty tight in their pots. And so I don't expect new leaves to be popping out of any of these anytime soon because the roots are gonna need some time to fill up that new space. But yes, this looks so good. I do love how she fills out this corner of the space. Don't say anything about this white wall. I know I have to put something up here. Probably some shelves or some plant pots. We'll see. And care for these is super easy. Just make sure they get a lot of light. I water everything once it's mostly dried out and the pot feels pretty light. I didn't realize I had so many Monsteras. I think I have too many plants.